All right, and we're back, and I want to introduce to you my main homie who has, together, along with Tall Jess, we have done great things in the Juggalo gaming community, if you will, with Dark Carnival Games, Morton's List creator, super helped with Quest for Shangri-La, basically schooling in general and life at all times. My man, Nathan Ninja. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Rob. It's a pleasure to be here, and there's no one or nothing I could be more pleased to talk about than Danny Kaye. I'm already giddy, having witnessed everything said so far. So much truth has been said. It's just amazing.
You know, you are probably one of the main, if you will, how do I put it, contributors to spreading the word of Danny Kaye. Like, you know what I mean? Like one of your lifelong quests is actually be to search out Danny Kaye. Time and time again, it seems like you've connected with Danny Kaye in some way, sometimes literally in person connected with them. And there's only a few ninjas on planet Earth that can actually claim that.
It was a quest. It was definitely a quest to track down the Kaye himself. And I feel like I've fallen into like a K-hole, you know, but it's just a blissful experience, you know,
right, yeah.
to get a chance to interact with him, to even just to hear him. He's just such a piercing character. And you say, like, I spread the word of Danny Kaye, and it's true. It's like a missionary zeal because he inspires that in you, his piercing blue eyes that this picture can only capture. It's just a small amount.
Right.
When it's in your presence, it's like looking at the sun. You can't look at it directly. I'd have to shade myself. It's just this piercing light. And it inspires you to spread the word. It's like a Christ-like thing.
Right. Now, I'm going to get into my first question here. Do you think Danny Kaye is considered to be a Christian rapper? And why do you think he is so inspired by God and to put God, so much the word of God into his music?
Well, he may be the first Christian rapper. You know, Danny Kaye first came Danny Kaye, or Danny Kaye back then, and that was so long ago that I don't personally know of anyone who could be called a Christian rapper before him. So perhaps he holds that belt amongst his many belts on his wall.
Right, first Caucasian rapper out of Detroit, first Christian rapper of all time.
Quite possibly.
I mean, there's a lot of firsts here. I mean, the true pioneer.
Oh my goodness, it's so true. And I would say that Danny Kaye is less of a Christian rapper. And not even just the first Christian rapper. He's on a mission from God. He embodies whatever Christianity is about, you know, the true stuff, the real Jesus stuff, the Jesus freak stuff, whatever, the born again stuff. You know, I'm not an expert at any of that stuff. But when you're in the presence of Danny Kaye, it's like a religious experience. Like, I'm somewhat surprised he didn't go into like preaching he's a natural preacher. He could just preach the gospel of hip hop. Obviously, is what he does.
Right, he's preaching through rap.
That's true. That is his method. That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Sure.
I would definitely consider him a preacher.
Yes. All right. Now, we haven't talked about this at all yet, and it's another first. If you could describe Danny Kaye's scratch boxing technique, what it is. And because the viewers don't even know about this flavor yet. I mean, this is like brand new flavor we're even announcing on the show. There's so much flavor to announce for Danny Kaye. 3 hours just isn't enough.
It's true. It's true. In the Get Busy track, you may have heard some of his scratch boxing technique. He gives it to you lightly there. In other tracks, it's entirely devoted to scratch boxing. I encourage everyone watching to dive deep into the discography of Danny Kaye. There's a lot there. There's so much there. His scratch boxing technique, I can only speculate, came out of his background growing up in the rural East China alternate world reality and being very ostracized and falling in with the rap hip hop kids in that crowd. And, you know, where it came from, who knows? But it's like his signature style. And I would consider Danny Kaye more of a scratch box artist who also raps than a rapper who scratch boxes.
What, for those that don't know, what is scratch boxing?
It's like beatboxing, but it's just a lot more scratchy. I couldn't even imitate it if I tried.
Right.
But hopefully we can see some on camera with the interview. But
he's definitely the first scratch boxer of all time. And the way I look at it, you know, when you scratch on a record, it's basically him doing it with his mouth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's unbelievable a sound can come out of a human like that.
It's almost like a combination of that and creating a beat at the same time with your mouth.
Right. It's like a beatboxing, but with the scratching.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Beatboxing and scratching simultaneously with your mouth. Linguistically, some would say it's impossible to pull off.
It's almost like that Tibetan throat singing with the two notes at once. Like how is it even possible?
It's like, Danny Kaye, when he dies, I really want an autopsy done on him because I think he's got like 2 sets of vocal cords. You know what I mean? And that's the only way that you could even begin to describe the mastery this
He's
man
got those
possesses
Klingon double
for
organs.
scratch boxing.
Right. But the problem is Danny Kaye probably will never die.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah,
Right.
definitely. All right. What was your motivation for setting up the interview with Danny Kaye? What was your motivation to travel out to Anchorage, Alaska, to meet with Danny Kaye and do the interview?
Well, of course, motivation since I was a teenager, first hearing about Danny Kaye through Psychopath the Crew and all that, the motivation was there at all times. But the opportunity was not, because as you mentioned earlier, after he went off into the West, into the lands of the West, into Alaska, it was rumored, it was disappeared. It was early internet age, no one could find him. So Tall Jess, Morton's List co-author, as mentioned before, and I were putting together a Morton's List event in Alaska. This is 2008, early, with our good friend Dan Morris, Big Cheddar. I was holding a big Morton's List event, camping event out there in Denali Park, and we were already in the beginning stages of getting flights situated and getting all that Morton's List trip together. When Tall Jess found on MySpace someone called Danny Kaye AE, who had some interesting links to Detroit. So we started messaging him on MySpace, and it sounded like it was Danny Kaye or possibly his manager, because we were never talking to Danny Kaye directly. It was always to the manager, of course, unnamed, undisclosed manager person, who handled Danny Kaye's affairs. And so we were mind blown.
Do you remember the name?
It was never named.
There was never named.
Never named.
Unnamed manager.
Yes. Okay. Who communicated to us. I have the original emails with me as well to refer to them.
Oh, shit, okay.
So this was in April 11, 2008 was the first contact with Danny Kaye, and we were losing our minds, basically, communicating about this, as you can imagine. But of course, we were like, is this the real Danny Kaye? Is this somebody who's just perpetrating his flavor? We were very skeptical, skeptical.
Right.
So the story I can relate, but yeah, the motivation.
I mean, the story itself is almost unbelievable.
How it came together. We were already going to Alaska, and then we learned it was meant to be. It was destined. We were destined for his hip hop.
Now, you weren't going to Alaska because Danny Kaye was there. You were just happened to be in Alaska doing a Morton's List event.
We were planning the Morton's List event from Detroit and New York, respectively. Right. And we learned about Danny Kaye, and we were like, we're going to be in Alaska, and no matter where he is in Alaska, we need to find him. And we need to convince him to do an interview or possibly perform live. That was also what we tried to do. But we failed. But then you guys later at the gathering made that dream happen, which I was there as well. And
okay, great.
Cloud 9, unbelievable.
So what was, you reached out to him, then what happened?
So,
Talking to his manager.
Right. So who replied in all caps, always. We started talking about an interview. We represented that we were coming up with a movie, a documentary about Detroit hip hop artists.
Real quick, that's a great point. Whenever I personally have ever had any correspondence with Danny Kaye, because I had to correspond with him to get him to come to the gathering, which was like a natural 20, like all energy, all effort, everything full cylinder to make happen.
Yeah.
He always emails or texts in all caps.
Yes.
I find that very interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like he's shouting, right?
Yes.
All his correspondence. All right, go ahead.
Everything he says is like a shout, but it's like with a spiritual energy, like the force behind his eyes.
Right.
It's not volume, but it's with karma that he just like comes at you.
It's like every word.
You saw in
power.
In the performance where he's like chopping into the top. He's very direct.
That's right. Okay.
It's intense. One word is intense.
Yes, I agree with that. Okay, so anyway, you had this correspondence, you set it all up, and what? His manager agreed to do the interview with you?
It's a long story. As you know, it's very tenuous to make the deals. We're creating this Detroit hip hop documentary, which ended up not happening. But later, the untold story of Detroit hip hop with Champtown did happen. So it was very much covered in that. Awesome Dre, also people in there. So a lot of it was negotiations. We had to promise 25% of the take of the video. which was all right. There was no take of the video because there was no video. But we did get the interview, which is the important part. And then he also had a rider. You know, we're familiar in show business. Any star, even though he's not performing, but he was showing up for the interview, so he had a lot of requirements.
Okay, what were those requirements? That's very interesting.
So yes, yeah. The interview was going to be, he gave us between 2:30 p.m. and 5:30 p.m., very generous 3-hour time slot to do the interview. This was going to happen at the Golden Corral nearby the point where we met up with Danny Kaye. So we get into Alaska, just to give you the brief story. The night before, I call up the manager. This is the first phone conversation. It's all been through MySpace at this point, you know?
Right.
So it's tenuous. Up until the last minute, we don't know if it's going to happen. He could flake. Who knows? Call him up. I'm not sure who I'm talking to. It's obviously a Danny Kaye, but it's the manager, whatever. We set up the interview. I get off the phone. I'm heart palpitations, can barely breathe. Oh my God, we got it set up. So we go to the parking lot where we're supposed to meet Mr. Kaye. He comes down from some sort of apartment. We're not really sure, but we meet him outdoors. And then we immediately open up our trunk and give him the many items that he required. And I'll list these off. We had to take these in our luggage from Detroit and from New York to Alaska. A Little Caesars deep dish crust pizza. Okay. A Hungry Howie's butter crust and with sesame on the crust.
Shit,
also a pizza.
Right, so two different locations.
Yeah. So we can tell at this point that Danny Kaye is not a vegetarian or anything like that. He liked lots of meats on the pizza. So these are pizzas that are flown in our luggage, you know, plus layovers. So he had to take all this stuff and put it back in the apartment or the studio or wherever he was, the office, whatever he was coming out of, before we could even get in the car to take him to the Golden Corral.
Okay.
But there was more than that because this is a long rider list. He also needed a bag of White Castle burgers. I think we got like 30 of them.
They don't have any in Alaska?
Apparently these were a lot of things that he really wanted from Detroit but couldn't get in Alaska.
I got you.
Right. So it kind of made sense, but it was very food-based. He's very food motivated.
Right.
What else did we get? Anyways, Verner's, all the Detroit things you can't get anywhere else. And this is also a long story, but he had us track down obscure hip-hop. Because, of course, the number one thing Danny Kaye is into is obscure old-school hip-hop because he is a living, breathing repository. He knows about it, but he didn't have some things. Right. So it was my honor and my privilege and my many slaving hours of scouring the internet to find Danny Kaye every single last track that he required, which is very difficult. So we have a list of that if anybody's interested. We have King's Son, Righteous but Ruthless, Showbiz, and AG Runaway Slave, Grandmaster Flash, The Source, K Solo, Tell the World My Name. It goes on and on and on, mad stuff. So we gave him all these prerequisites. He came back out. But we knew at this point we were with him in person and it was going to happen. So we go to the Golden Corral, we set up the camera, we had a cameraman there, David. And
so what was it like meeting him for the first time? And what was he like off camera? Like you guys talked to him a little bit. Was his manager there?
No, of course. We never saw the manager.
You never saw the manager, okay. All right, so what was
it was very
like?
Apparently that the manager and Danny Kaye were one and the same. It was a double.
Yeah,
he's so powerful that he can do many things.
All right, so what was it like just off camera talking to him, meeting him for the first time? What was that like?
Working around showbiz, I kind of got just inured to the idea of being around, famous people, celebrities, seeing other people trip out about people that, it's just like, it never really did it for me, it's like, but it's like meeting that star person, the one person in your life who you could meet and just be starstruck and just have heart palpitations and just be so excited to see in the flesh after all these years of speculation.
Right.
And then the journey to Alaska to achieve this. It's just like, to use a role-playing metaphor, it's just like leveling up and just getting all that XP.
Instant
you could just
level.
feel it coming in. It was just so, I'm just giddy thinking about it. It's just tingly,
Yes.
Tingly, and that piercing gaze, the icy, piercing gaze, like Robert E. Howard would describe of Conan the Barbarian, just looking through the icy winds coming through you, like piercing your soul.
Right.
Just crazy Christian shit.
Right.
I just couldn't look at him too closely. It was intense, so intense.
All right, so we're gonna get to that interview in a minute. All right, the actual interview, it's been condensed to like 6 minutes, but it's the heart of it. You know what I'm saying? Now you and Tall Jess actually went to East China Township, Michigan, to locate his house. Describe that experience.
Right. So now, many years later, we conducted the interview, came back, leveled up. Everything is great, and this was 2019, right after HalloWicked. We were supporting Unity Fest. Shout out to Andy Sherman and Eric and all those guys. Basically, a lot of Juggalo gamers were into DCG games and all that kind of stuff, and they were renting out Diesel Concert Lounge way up in New Baltimore, way up there.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Yep. And it just occurred to me. I'm like, well, that's somewhere where I've heard about this East China, this legendary Narnia of Michigan, this East China.
Right.
So I looked on a map, and lo and behold, there's like a half an hour, even further up, like on the border of Canada, like way up there. And I was like, man, we got to go. So and Tall Jess was in town, and I was like, man, we gotta go. We need a cameraman. We got Steve at the office, Steve Fure, who used to work here.
Oh yeah.
He actually did a lot of work with Mud and Time. Mud, who co-produced the Untold Story of Detroit Hip Hop.
Okay.
So we knew Steve was handy with the camera, and we're like, hey, Steve, we'll pick you up on the east side and drive up to East China and try to track down more information about Danny Kaye's history and whereabouts.
Now, did you use the address that's actually on the original Cold Death logo? There's an actual address on the Cold Death logo in East China, Michigan.
Not only that, but that exact logo got made into a shirt, the famous Cold Death shirts that were available at the Gathering, which of course I bought.
Yes.
And right on the shirt is the address of the house.
Right.
So using this elementary logic, yes, we were able to pinpoint where it all went down. So I was like, we have to go visit the house and just run around town and talk to people and go to the diner and ask.
Who was living at the house when you guys actually knocked on the door?
We did. Well, I Google searched it and like stalked it super hard, and I found this tiny little house, a little shack. And we showed up and just cold knocked on the door, cold deaf. And we were about to leave, no one was there, and we were about to leave, all disappointed when somebody came to the door. And it turns out it was this kind of middle-aged, maybe younger than middle-aged, but like a disabled vet. And he was kind of like pilled out and not doing so well and very disabled. And as you seen in the picture earlier, it was all the thin blue line flags and the Trump flags and all that kind of stuff. And so we explained the story. We had a flyer made up. We explained all about Danny Kaye. He had no idea that he was living in this history. Just soaking it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Were you guys like the first ones that ever came to the house looking for Danny Kaye, you think?
The person we met had no clue. So definitely as long as he'd been there. But he'd only been renting a little bit of time. He's renting. So we tried to push further. We got the names of the landlords. We called them, talked to them. They had no idea. So the whole Daniels family, I guess, had been in there for generations, as you mentioned.
Right, it kind of moved on.
They sold it out. But still, the house, can you imagine? We weren't able to get inside. We just felt he was like resting.
That's the house where at least like pretty much all the albums were written in that house.
Right. Can you imagine?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that is the nucleus.
Just being
of
on
his
the
creation.
porch and just being in that, it was just amazing. It was like almost like being in the presence of Danny Kaye.
All right, what is your favorite Danny Kaye song? And we're gonna play it.
Nice. Well, all the ones that have been played before are, almost came so close to choosing those. Those are really great ones. Oh my gosh, any Danny Kaye song you want, obviously the rhyme within rhyme, amazing. Techniques. You want the scratch boxing. You want some religious information. You want how down he is with food. That's a very important theme in Danny Kaye's life. But I had to go, after all that, I had to go with Hip Hop Addict, because it really kind of tells you the story of Danny Kaye and where he comes from. And it's a good introduction to understanding more about the man himself.
Oh, yeah. Let's listen to Hip Hop Addict from Danny Kaye so you can get schooled. And when we come back, we're going to get to the interview.
Born in Rapville, liked to rap a lot. But there was one rapper in
Who do you think that is right here?
Rapville.
Oh, that's him?
Is it Marvin?
Oh, okay.
The whole rapping scene.
Nice.
Now please don't ask why.
What's that?
No one quite knows me.
Nice.
Began in the summer of 83. The hip-hop phenomenon took over me. Made me dance and bust moves no one could beat. I was stupid down to the hip-hop sound. Bought all the fresh tapes that I could buy. This deaf music I could not deny. Just about that time it came to me. I realized that I wanted to rhyme. Became a hip-hop act. Each scratch or rhyme was a definite must. Took me over and made me buck. So I started writing and rapping. Didn't realize what was going to happen. People told me I was deaf. People told me I was deaf. They thought that I was the best about then I moved away, not knowing that I would display my stupid dip rap someday. In about 3 days, I got to destination. I got to work without no hesitation. I knew soon I was going to rock this deaf music they call hip hop. Met a man in the city of Detroit. Didn't waste time, he got straight to the point. Told me, give me advice, said he'd be honest and give me no lie about if I was good or bad. Said he'd tell me if I had a chance with the competitive sport of rap. My hip hop addict, I rap and poppin' at it. Some people think I'm pathetic, but don't give me no credit. I'm just a hip hop addict. Stuck by me, told me the truth. Now me and him are rocking you. He writes a beat, I rock the microphone, and when I'm rocking, I take you through the twilight zone. Become amazed, crazy, and half days. You feel here to be my engineer for Trey's Rocket, Dr. Seuss.
All the city was dark. Silence filled the air. All rappers were writing sweet raps without a care. When we challenged his first B-boy on Times Square. You'll be my first one, the death rapper hissed. SK snatched the sucker's rhymes and started to diss. This is a true story. It couldn't have been more true. Because Danny Kaye will be coming to a theater near you.
Shit, yes. All right. Final question, Nathan. Final question. Name a life lesson you have learned from Danny Kaye's music and career.
Danny Kaye teaches me, teaches everyone to school it and freak it as hard as you can and not give a fuck about what anybody is saying or thinking. You know what I mean? Like you could look at Danny Kaye and you could just throw that away. You could miss that diamond in the rough, you know? And without that awareness, without that piercing gaze to see clearly what true flavor is, it's inspiring. Every day, Danny Kaye.
Nice. All right. We are now going to witness the interview conducted by Tall Jess and Nathan in Anchorage, Alaska, where they tracked down Danny Kaye. This is level 10 karmic flavor. The only interview that I know of, like, that's been captured on film, right? I mean, it's the only one I know of the legendary Danny Kaye. This is epic. Check it out.
Well, what about hip-hop?
It's a lifetime commitment for me. I mean, you know, I've been involved in representing hip-hop since 1983. It's just the beats. It's like they hypnotize you. I don't know, I guess you could say that. Not so much that, but it's like it creates like an energy to want to write rhymes down and then bust them, you know. And so for me, that's what it was mostly about. But, you know, I've had so many influences, you know, from day one. I mean, you know, all music is formed by hip hop because they sample all of it. And, you know, I also extremely enjoy jazz, which is the nucleus of hip hop. I think it's doing the 360 and coming back around and going back the way it was. Hip hop was the first single I released in 1987 in East Detroit, and that seems to be one of the big ones, you know, saying that hip hop's taking its way to the top, you know. And then later, if it was just coincidence, I don't know. But word is that KRS-One actually had Destined for Hip Hop, so he may have been influenced by that. The engineer, producer that I worked with at 9 Mile, he sent it to B-Boy Records in the beginning.
This is at the disc?
Yes. So that's what the word on the street was, that he was actually influenced by that to make that song, Stop the Violence. I had a deal back in 2003 with Universal Records. However, that fell through because the person I was in business with had beef with Eminem. And I was even contacted by the Source magazine about it, but I didn't have any beef. They were looking for dirt on Eminem, and I don't have no beef. I mean, he's an admirer of mine, you know, and he looks highly on my lyrics and my beatbox, scratch mouth techniques. So why would I have beef with somebody that does that? Eminem and his producers had both my first releases, Destined for Hip Hop and the Definitely Def EP. Kid Rock, still influenced by me to this day. He's a big fan. He recently had contacted another one of the rappers in Detroit, Jamtown, and requested the whole Danny Kaye catalog. And I'm also not just the first Caucasian MC, but I was also considered the first Caucasian scratchbox. People, the people from everywhere. This is the style, my style of many styles. I rock the mic, the way that I like, the way that will make you get so hyped. Cause there's nothing like the rhyme, hip-hop is where you find the precious small poetry lines. But there's not many like mine. It is my concept. The people from everywhere. This is the style, my style of many styles. I rock the mic, the way that I like, the way that will make you get so hyped. Cause there's nothing like the rhyme, hip-hop is where you find the precious small poetry lines. But there's not many like mine. It is my concept. Stay loyal and true to what you do, and don't let other people talk you out of what you believe is coming from your heart. Loyalty made me royalty. You know, versatility, ability with agility. You know what I'm saying? Danny Kaye, always excelling.
If you're not familiar with Detroit hip-hop legend Danny Kaye, then you better check yourself.
Oh,
What do you say after watching something like that?
know,
I don't think there are words.
I know, man.
You know what I'm
It's so
saying?
great.
Dog, what the fuck? I'm gonna sleep so good tonight. So fucking
Just
good.
dreams of Danny Kaye.
Man, just
music
dreams
in your
of
ears.
fucking snack attacks and tracks and fields and dog, he just paints such a vivid picture with his fucking lyrics.
Yeah,
Oh.
I busted a nut. I did. I'm highly embarrassed by that.
That's right.
I can't help it though. It happened.
Don't be embarrassed.
I
It's
wanna-
Danny Kaye, dog. It's like that's totally natural.
Did he? He didn't blink at all, did he?
I don't think
No, not during the
I can't
scratch boxing
question.
technique.
He may have fish eyes.
It is possible.
Just saying.
It's
Fish don't
possible.
blink neither.
Maybe he's a reptilian.
I think he's more amphibious.
I mean, yes. I want to read you a Danny Kaye quote. This is straight up from Danny Kaye. To
We just
me,
heard plenty of incredible ones. But
To
what
me-
else you
His
got?
mouth.
to me, hip hop is just what it's all about.
Of course.
I've been representing hip
Hopping your
hop.
hips.
I've been representing hip hop since 1983, and it's just what I do. It's been following me my entire life. That's straight from Danny Kaye.
Damn.
Fuck yeah, it is.
That's my next tattoo right on my thigh. Right on my inner thigh, dog.
Well, since 1983.
Right next to the Boner Garage one.
Anyway, it suffices to say, Danny Kaye, we idolize Danny Kaye. He's one of our greatest heroes.
Somehow that's like a fucking dull poster. It just glows.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
it's a picture of Danny Kaye, so it just
Right.
automatically will glow.
It's an unnatural glow on that for some reason. He's a hero of ours, not only of hip hop, but of life itself. He's an inspiration musically, spiritually, karmically. He's the embodiment of freshness in every
He's the
sense
embodiment
of
of
the word.
life in general.
Like, he was the first to ever cause our wigs to fucking flip.
Yeah, the properly
Like,
flip, yes, no
straight
question.
up to the fucking stratosphere. And when that wig came down, it was like angelic fucking feathers floating softly down.
What do you think fucking happened, guy?
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm
I
trying to
never
tell you.
found my wig.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I think it's still fucking like orbiting the Earth.
And I just want to say out there, just in case, I know he ain't watching, but just in case, thank you, Danny Kaye, for all that you have blessed me into my life personally. I want to thank you so much.
Rob, you're supposed to keep some kind of professional composure.
I can't.
right?
I can't help it.
I get
can't
it.
help
I
it,
get it.
man.
I'm not mad at you.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm in the same boat, man.
I mean-
I'd say thank you too, Danny Kaye. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Whether or not you know it, we will be sleeping together tonight. Because I will pretend my pillow is you and this pillow is hip hop, and I will hold you both. For karmic reasons, nothing sexual. Don't get freaked out, okay? Just karmic reasons, pure karma. I just want to hold you both and drift off into sleep with you both in my arms.
Okay, I just had to finish up telling him I loved him. We just fucking communicate like that. You know, on a
Telepathically?
different plane, you know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Listen,
I had to tell him good night and I love him.
do yourself a favor. Go to Amazon right now. I can't believe it's on Amazon. Destined for Hip Hop, his very first album.
Thank you to
That's-
Champtown.
Just start with that. You know what I'm saying? And we're
Thank
not.
you to Champtown.
Yeah.
We're
We're not-
putting it on Amazon.
I give you my word, we're not receiving 1 cent for this. We're just want to bestow you a gift for Christmas.
That's
okay?
right.
A Christmas gift. Go there, $10. I mean, you can own the fucking album yourself right now and listen to it, top to bottom. Destined for Hip Hop, the start of the Danny Kaye legacy.
No doubt.
And
Christmas,
arguably,
and Christmas is coming. Christmas.
Arguably-
Baby Jesus.
arguably
Danny
his best
Kaye.
release. You know?
You know there's Danny Kaye in that manger at Christmas, right? When he was a baby. That's
baby-
not Jesus at all.
They do call
That-
him.
no, but
Baby
say-
Kaye.
Yeah, Baby Kaye.
They-
In the, you know, say the manger
Right.
scenes around Christmas. That's Baby Danny Kaye.
Right, that's
People
what-
think it's Jesus,
I
but
know.
it's not.
I got
Baby KAE.
right. Always excelling. I wish you could. All right. So as we go out tonight, we're gonna play you one last song from the legend himself. We're talking about After School Snack Attack. We're
And I'm hungry too.
We're gonna end the night with that song. Such joy, such sweet bliss.
Man, the way fucking Jay Webb put it, he said you can't listen to Danny Kaye and not be happy. You know what I
You
mean?
can't be in a
can.
bad mood.
No
Listen to Danny
doubt.
Kaye.
No,
Yeah, it's
100%.
impossible.
And,
Impossible.
and we didn't get to him this time, but you were trying to get to the D Raw's flavor, obviously, right? That's what
That'll
you're
be
trying
for another day.
That'll be for another
Right
day.
now we got a whole other fucking day to talk about this flavor.
We can't fucking school y'all too fucking hard because
God, if we just drop the fucking D-Ross and shit, motherfuckers' heads might explode.
right at the
Straight away,
same
like
time.
we got
Another
scanners
day,
up here that's fucking people up.
another day, another time, he'll be revealed.
It's true.
So, from all of us here at Examination of a Super Ninja, thank you for joining us on this epic look into the life of a legend, an icon, a fucking, I can't even describe.
god.
An enigma.
Yeah, a godlike fucking
A
being.
perfect being. Like
An angel
Right, yeah. There you
sent
go,
from
yeah.
heaven to exist here amongst us mortals for a short time to fucking drop some wicked rhymes, some fucking dope lyrics, some scratch box technique, if you will, upon your lobes, upon your heart, upon your spirit. Until then, y'all, stay listening to Danny Kaye. Fucking get the album,
Don't even
listen
try.
to it.
Please
go,
don't try.
Go,
I give up. I've already given
Look,
up.
All right,
don't
thank you.
listen to Danny Kaye if you're about to go to sleep because you won't fucking sleep. When you hear Danny Kaye, you'll be up for days at a time. So just be warned, too much freshness, too much flavor. We'll see you next time on the Examination of a Super
Oh, and by the
Ninja.
way, ninjas, it was our pleasure
Oh, yeah.
All right, yeah,
sharing with you the beauty we have tonight.
yeah, hell yeah.
Thank us later.
Yeah. What's that? Who's talking shit, man? somebody was fucking up or something. Where's that other guy? Pretty much, yeah, after he hit those. After school, I come home every day. I mosey on over to the refrigerator and say, what can't have to eat on this fine day? I look inside, to my surprise, I happen to find ham, salami, and a little Swiss cheese. A feeling of a hungry man goes through me. While I'm very pleased, I dig out the submarine buns and also come over a box of milk duds, which is going to be my school snack appetizer. Without hesitation, I eagerly pile the meats high and high till I feel my hungering desire. I pack it between two submarine slices that pickles, relish, and other herbs and spices. Then all of a sudden, something comes to my head. Something was missing. I realize I forgot the miracle bread spread, so I run back to the fridge as fast as I can, wishing, wondering, and hoping that there's what I need. Keep hoping as I proceed to my wondering eyes. On the top shelf is standing a blue and white king of sandwiches, so I help myself. Think in my mind, oh, I'm lucky there's just enough left. Go to the counter, open a silver drawer, pull out a knife and spread the rest down the scrumpy submarine bread. Lead myself back to my main plateau. Look at the time and realize the time for my show. 2 clicks of the remote control and I'm on the channel of the Bill Cosby Show. Get things done with the right tactics, he's a man, you know. Untie, pull off my high top track, sit back, kick up my feet and relax. I'm all set to enjoy the show, I'm a masterpiece of a sandwich. I lick my fingers and clean up all the crumbs. You'd probably be thinking that I'm done, but I just started after I finished my milk duds. After school, snack. After school, snack. It's the beginning of my attack. Think y'all know where I'm coming from, because most y'all get spilling after last spill when school is done. So if you know and understand what I'm saying, let me hear you say snack, snack till I die, cause of what keeps the hunger alive and what keeps me pushing to strive. Huh.